They want to cause harm to their community because they genuinely hate gay people, they hate trans people, they hate people of color. And we're at a time where a lot of these people are in power, and just letting it happen is not an option when lives are at stake.
In a notably red state, there are a multitude of counties, cities, and even schools that are leaning blue. The University of North Texas is one of those schools. The spring semester of 2022 has been an incredibly difficult one, not just academically, but also politically.
This semester stuff has just been really exploding to the point where I haven't really wanted to be on campus that much.
The discourse all began in late February when the campus group YCT, or Young Conservatives of Texas, invited known conservative Republican Jeff Younger to speak on campus. For a school that advertises inclusivity and diversity for all, the student body starkly protested this event. Unfortunately, Younger began to incite and egg on the student protesters, and things quickly got out of hand, so much so that a student was injured when campus police were attempting to evacuate the speaker and the group's organizers.
There was so much actual violence at the protest, a kid got run over by the cops, and that was kind of even brushed over then.
I think it's really disrespectful that he refuses to acknowledge or accept as fact that a student got run over at the original protest.
UNT President Neil Smotrek released a statement to the student body, and instead of relief, students only felt more anguish. Smotrek's statement came off a bit victim-blaming and didn't put any fault against YCT or Younger, but instead the students.
Which, it was pretty much like a slap in the face to all of us. A massive movement of kids here are trying to actively demean people on campus and take their rights away, but they're allowed to say whatever they want to say because of freedom of expression.
Understandably, the students were upset and moved forward with a plan to protest on the steps of the administration building, vowing to continue these protests until their voices were heard.
Hate speech shouldn't be tolerated, and what YCT is doing is hate speech. There's no other way around it.
Kelly Niedert, she gained popularity a couple weeks before the event because of some transphobic things she said on TikTok.
Student organizers of these protests were adamant that these protests were not against YCT, but instead against the university's administration that allows for groups like this to even exist on campus.
A lot of the people there really felt like the president and another one of the faculty members were kind of gaslighting students into believing that this wasn't as bad as it was, that YCT is just a conservative organization.
Students on campus continue to protest, and Smotrek is trying to maintain the peace with students, but continues to make empty promises to the student body.
Oh, I'm gonna have a meeting with trans kids on campus to talk about their concerns. And I'm we've all been voicing our concerns readily to you, and you've been completely ignoring it and just trying to make yourself look good.
Many members of the queer community no longer feel as though they belong at UNT, and the giant billboard on 35 advertising the diversity of campus just feels like a giant backstab to them.
What Smotrek is doing is mainly damage control, and he's willing to do or say anything to control both sides, YCT and the LGBTQ community, so that he doesn't look bad for either of them. And that's just not the right course of action.
This issue is prevalent across the nation and will likely continue to be so, but at least here at UNT, the students aren't afraid to start these conversations.
We're definitely still in Texas, but I don't know if it would be much better being in Austin. I think you'd find a lot of the same problems.